Hey, it's Vicky calling. I have a video for you.
So, if you haven't seen my last video, or this is your first time seeing my videos, I'm going to draw two original characters and give them a short story in a series I'm calling the Sea Saga. It's called that because my characters feature underwater creatures plus something of my choosing in their design. I've been writing stories and learning art since I was in elementary school. I'm sharing my passions with you through these videos, so I really hope you enjoy them. First up, we have the characters I will be drawing and giving a story to in this video. I will start drawing Stella, a wedding cake and starfish bride. Wedding cakes originated in ancient Rome, where bread was broken over the bride's head to symbolize good luck. In the 17th century, there was a shift to white ice cakes that symbolized wealth and prosperity. Starfish can regenerate limbs and move with hundreds of little feet. So I gave Stella starfish legs, yellow-orange skin, a white cake dress, and an extravagant starfish veil. She is the star of the show, even when it's not her big day. Then I will move on to drawing Leah, a birthday cake and lionfish girl. Birthday candles originated from ancient Greece, where candles were placed on moon-shaped honey cakes to make them glow in honor of Artemis, the goddess of the moon. The smoke from the extinguished candles were believed to carry prayers and wishes up to the gods, like modern-day birthday wishes. Lionfish are orange and white striped fish that are highly venomous through their 18 dorsal and pelvic spines. Some are even bioluminescent, which connects to birthday candles. Leah has a lionfish spine hat and a candled birthday cake dress. She has rainbow sprinkles on her dress and is an excellent baker. Now, onto the story. Stella and Leah grew up as inseparable best friends. Their grandmothers worked side by side, and the girls were raised like sisters. Stella can be vain and self centered at times and see herself as the star of the show. She has charm and beauty and is devoted. Leah is on the more sensitive side, softer in personality, burns bright, but not to take focus away from Stella. She acts on emotions at times. She leads with her heart rather than her head. For years, nothing could break the bond the two girls had formed. Then, they grew up. By 21, Stella was the kingdom's darling after becoming engaged to the Prince of the Sea, Orion, a silver-haired merman with a smile so perfect it looked painted on. Everything was going to be perfect. Stella became consumed with royal wedding plans and in doing so completely forgot Leah's 21st birthday. Stella tried to apologize to Leah the next day. "You remembered the flowers," Leah said. "You remembered the orchestra. You remembered the dress." Leah turned her back on her friend. "You just didn't remember me." Something cracked between them that day. When Stella's wedding day arrived, Leah did not come. No explanation, no apology, nothing. And what was worse, weeks earlier, Leah had overheard whispers among the bridesmaids that Orion had been unfaithful to Stella more than once. Leah had meant to tell Stella, but she hadn't, and she wasn't going to. A cruel part of her thought, let her find out for herself, or not at all. The wedding went off without a hitch. Stella was the blushing, oblivious bride, and also a bride whose heart had broken. Her friendship had been shattered. Then the rumors reached Stella after the honeymoon. At first, she denied them. Then, she obsessed over them. It felt like public humiliation, and rage fermented within Stella. Stella wanted to reconcile with Leah, but when her back is turned and she's making tea in the kitchen, Stella pulls venom from Leah's pet lionfish Othello's spiny head. Orion is found dead 2 days later. Eyes are looking at Leah, but there's no way to prove it, until Stella insists that Leah was the other lover and was jealous of her marriage to Orion. Leah is arrested without question. Now, the broken friendship had become a war. The truth soon arises to the surface. The jealous bridesmaids had lied about Orion cheating. He had been faithful the entire time. But now, Orion was 6 feet under, Leah was imprisoned, and Stella was a murderous widow. She had killed her beloved and condemned her best friend over a lie. She's devastated, but consumed with pride. Stella refuses to confess her crime or apologize to Leah. Months later, Stella's 22nd birthday had arrived, and Leah requested one final meeting before her sentencing. Stella had almost refused. Leah arrived with chains around her wrists and ankles and a simple birthday cake. "I made this for you," she said. The black ice cake was covered in rainbow sprinkles and countless candles. A peace offering, one final olive branch. Stella stared at it for a long time. "I know you still hate me," she finally whispered. Leah's expression trembled. "How could I ever hate my best friend?" For the first time in months, Stella almost confessed everything. Almost. But pride consumed her. So instead, Stella remained silent. Leah looked at Stella longingly, grief and fury twisting together behind her eyes. "Well, aren't you gonna make a wish?" she prodded. Stella leaned forward, eyes closed, towards the cake. Then Leah leaned forward and blew out the candles. Like a magical birthday wish, the flames burst violently outward. The fire scorched Stella's face and body in a wave of heat. Stella hollered and danced to put out the flame. Servants rushed in to help her. Stella's face had blistered into scar tissue. Her upper body was blackened like burnt sugar, her hair singed. Leah stared in horror at what she had done as he was dragged away. She had just sealed her fate. Stella would survive, scarred, ugly, and consumed by bitterness. It would take years for her to regenerate what she had lost. Leah would die in prison. People would later call it the Cake Wars, and the only thing they will remember is that there were no winners. If you made it this far in the video, I want to go over some inspirations for Leah and Stella's story. One thing I really wanted with this story was for the conflict to feel dramatic, emotional, and almost theatrical. I didn't want it to just be two friends get into an argument. I wanted it to spiral into something bigger and more destructive. I remember when I discovered Game of Thrones. I actually wasn't sure I was gonna like it. Then I clicked season 1, episode 1. Best decision ever. Now Martin stayed killing characters off, okay? Left and right, somebody is dying. And they got me every time, okay? But it wasn't just the deaths that inspired me and like how they went about it, but it was how like pride and betrayal and misunderstanding and revenge, all those bad things really kind of destroyed the relationships of these entire families. These tiny emotional decisions turned into full-scale war. Now, Stella and Leah's conflict is much smaller and more personal than a kingdom wide battle, but I wanted to feel just as devastating. The murder, the imprisonment, the fire, they're all consequences of hurt feelings that kept escalating because neither of them could let go of their pride. Stella forgetting Leah's birthday might sound small at first, but emotionally, to Leah, it represented something bigger. It meant feeling abandoned and replaced. Then Leah skipping the wedding hurt Stella in return. Then the cheating rumors created paranoia and humiliation, and before they even realize it, they've destroyed each other's lives. The romantic comedy Brides Wars also inspired me, which is funny because the tone is completely different from my story. I love the idea of wedding and friendships colliding, but in Brides Wars, the two best friends become rivals because their weddings overlap and everything becomes competitive and petty. I took that concept and twisted it into something darker and more tragic. Stella's obsession with the perfect wedding comes directly from that inspiration. She gets consumed by appearances, status, beauty, and being the center of attention that she accidentally neglects the person who loved her the longest. I also love the irony of using cakes and celebration as symbols for destruction. Weddings and birthdays are supposed to be joyful events. One celebrates love, the other celebrates life. But in this story, both celebrate betrayal, death, and revenge. I mentioned in my last video, I'm a sucker for tragedies. I drew inspiration from Kill Bill and the song I Write Sins Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco. They're both about weddings going horribly wrong, and Stella and Orion are definitely an example of that. With Kill Bill, I really love the themes of revenge and betrayal. The bride in the movie is fueled almost entirely by pain and anger, and I think Stella and Leah both mirror that in different ways. Stella reacts violently after believing she was betrayed. Leah retaliates after months of emotional devastation and imprisonment. Neither of them is completely innocent, but neither of them is completely evil. There's moral grayness for each of them. And with I Write Sins Not Tragedies, I honestly just love how dramatic and theatrical it is. Like, there's chaos and the wedding aesthetic, and there's scandal, and it's just so messy. I wanted Stella's wedding to have the same energy underneath all that beauty and elegance. From the outside, Stella looks like she has everything she's ever wanted: the prince, the wedding, the beauty, the admiration, but underneath all that white icing and pearls, everything is just rotting away. At the end of the story, nobody really wins. Stella loses her beauty, her husband, and her best friend. Leah loses her freedom and eventually her life. And the real tragedy is that none of it had to happen in the first place. That's honestly my favorite kind of tragedy. The kind where everything could have been avoided if just one person had been honest, vulnerable, and willing to apologize. The kind of tragedy that's honestly true to life. I hope you enjoyed my drawing process and short story. I can't wait to put out more videos in this series. I will be calling with another video soon, so bye bye!